Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is Rickson here, and this video is my first video on comic books on this channel. And as you might know, this channel is focused on um, anything related to pop culture, be it games. I occasionally play games, and I mostly read comic books. And I have been an avid comic book reader since my childhood, and I really wanted to share my thoughts with you all about a few books that I have read. And so yeah, this is my first pick for this video. This is Lost Marvels Volume Number One, Tower of Shadows. So let's get right to it. Yeah. So Lost Marvels Volume Number One, Tower of Shadows. So this book is published by Fantagraphics, which has a history of publishing various underrated comics in excellent production qualities, and this one is no exception. And it's quite handsomely produced, I must say, and which collects seven-page horror anthology classics from the 1970s. And this book has been on my radar for quite some time now, and I'm really glad to have finally gotten my hands on it. So yeah, these are the table of contents. This is very nice, composition here. Um, each section contains three stories, and each story is in a seven-page format. And what's very astonishing is that each story makes the most of it in just about 7 pages. They are very memorable, impactful, and unique at the same time. So, and also, yeah, each section has a cover art, beautiful cover art by iconic artists like Wally Wood, John Buscema, and Jim Steranko, etc. And then we have Tour of the Tower, which is the introduction to the writers and artists who have worked on this series of stories. Uh, very nice, very nice insight into the people who have created such amazing works. And this is the cover art for the first section, At the Stroke of Midnight, which is written and drawn by the one and only Jim Steranko. So you can see that right off the bat, Jim Steranko plays around with colors in such a way that it's so appealing to the eyes. And I can't help but just pause for a moment whenever I reread these stories. I pause for a moment and to take a moment to appreciate the beautiful art that is there in each story. And here, as you can see, this wonderful mix of colors, this reflection and of this particular haunted mansion, supposedly haunted mansion, let's say. The color contrast, as you can see here, is absolutely seamless. Like for example, this panel and also this one, and also the contrast, the black and white contrast, it is so seamless. It is so seamless that you could just look at it and admire the craft. So there are so these stories are um, definitely horror centric. While these stories are horror centric, they are not overly horrific. I mean, they are more about their twisted imaginative endings rather than overt horror. So I would give you, and just to give you the flavor of these stories, I would just like to give a brief summary on the first story, which is written and drawn by Jim Steranko. It's at the stroke of midnight. So in this story, basically, a couple travels to a castle, and supposedly which is haunted, to meet their uncle, and they're going there to inherit the wealth of their uncle, who basically has mysteriously disappeared and is presumed dead. And this couple, they, here's the irony. They are, instead of grieving, about their uncle, they are quite driven by greed. I mean, they want to claim their uncle's wealth and fortune, and that is the reason they have, um, entered this haunted castle in hopes of, claiming his fortune. That is, and so they search the castle. So they, so they are looking for the treasure, and they seemingly are not able to find the treasure anywhere. And they keep searching, and eventually their search leads them to a concealed concealed chamber, basically, and which contains this one. So you can see, this is the door that they find after quite a bit of exploration, and they had the keys. And yeah, as they say, that of course it's the money. I feel it. It's locked in that room. Yeah, and I've got the keys. So they open the room and they come across various books about occult rituals, black magic and stuff like that. Here, Satan in the 15th century, black magic, etc. And they come across strange artifacts. And they discover that the old man, their uncle, they had become obsessed with black magic, and had been searching for a way to, travel in time, for the lack of a better term. And in this chamber, they find a mysterious doorway, which happens to open at the stroke of the midnight. And they instantly think that they have finally found the treasure, and they open the door, and then they see quite a lot of treasure buried there. And the wife is more than overjoyed. She says, "We are rich, Lou. We are millionaires, filthy rich. It's all here, like I told you." And then all of a sudden, they this that doorway through which they had entered, that that doorway transports them to the past, during the French Revolution. And all of a sudden, the air is filled with cries and agonies. The people, those people, they're kind of like, withered zombies appearing here in this ghoulish, foul color, which is sort of, applied here to bring that effect, bring that, spooky effect. And from a distance, beside a guillotine, they see, they spot their uncle. And this panel transition, as you can see, is just, it's very masterfully done. The camera is gradually getting zoomed at their uncle's face, and when they lay their eyes on their uncle's face, they are struck with horror. They are like, you know they began to scream, and they are sort of sucked in into that particular, era, and nothing was ever heard from them again. So this story is basically, it's quite grim, and it's just it ends with the implication that they are taken to the guillotine and receiving punishment suited to their greed and murderous betrayal. So this is a very nice twist that this story had. Just a 7-page story, and I must say it is the twist is quite. I mean, at least I didn't see it coming. The next one is by Johnny Craig, writer and artist, who's also, again, phenomenal art, distinct art style. This one's by John Buscema, which is so this one is written by Stanley and John Buscema, and the inking is by Don Heck. Just wonderful, wonderful collection of short stories, 7-page stories, which are, astonishingly great, and they have that, classic vibe to it. I mean, they have that, timeless feeling. You could, revisit these stories 5 years down the line, and you could still enjoy them. It's, or at least that's how I feel. That's how I have felt after reading, after going through all the stories. One of my favorite artists from that era is Bollywood, and I really love this one. Is also this one's by Bollywood, and I love the art style, especially by Bollywood. So yeah, my 2 cents. It's a brilliant collection of short horror tales from legendary creators like Bernie Wrightson, Archie Goodwin, John Buscema, Wally Wood, Jim Steranko, and quite a few more. So, as I said, these tales are more about their twisted imaginative endings rather than overt horror. If you're expecting it to be, intense, overly horrific, psychological horror or something like that, then this book is not the one. This book is more about the twisted imaginative endings. I mean, I at least I was quite satisfied reading the stories, and I would most certainly revisit the stories in the days to come. So yeah, that's about it for my first video. So I hope all of you have liked it, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Just let me know in the comments below what you think about this book, if you have read it, or if you have not read it. Just let me know what you think about it, if this book interests you or not. I would very much like to, I would be glad to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.